Excuse me, Mr. DJ.
Hey, check this out. We got a great show coming your way.
From the ECSI Sports Studios, the #1 sports information program in America, the Breakfast Bankroll, with your host, the sports broker, Jeff Dawson.
ECSI fans, you want to revolutionize your sports investing habits? Allow me to tell you about WagerWire. WagerWire is an app that helps you become a superior bettor by allowing you to sync all your sports books and track all your bets in one place. See your current action, your betting history, and stats. You could also sign up for sports books and collect bonus offers. Follow them at WagerWire on X, as it's the best account on the platform. Head to App Store or Play Store now and search WagerWire and download the app. Good morning, sports fans from all around the globe. I am the host, Jeff Dawson, East Coast Sports Investors, and this is your Breakfast Bankroll for Thursday, April 18th, 2024. Yes, the weekend is almost here. Yes, the NBA playoffs officially will start this weekend. Yes, the NHL will officially start this weekend. Not on their behalf, though. I think they needed a little push from the networks there. The Red Sox just limping across, of course. Injuries galore there. Lots of stuff to talk about. Of course, this is our weekly chat with, I like to say, the content king, the local legend, Julian Edlow from DraftKings. And the way I spin this show very simply is we like to talk local sports, and then we talk the national sports market through the eyes of Julian Edlow and, of course, the DraftKings Sportsbook. First and foremost, a shout out to our proud sponsor and partnership, WagerWire. If you have not downloaded the app, please run over to Google Play or wherever you download the apps. It's free. Get yourself acclimated to the app. Download all the sportsbooks that are available in your state. Take advantage of the free promos, the match plays, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And also, if you're looking to join the WagerWire team and crew, send an email to affiliate@wagerwire.com. Tell them JD from ECSI sent you. Travis, Zach, Amber, Holly, Mindy, Mandy, Jay Berry. The list is endless. I could talk for an hour. I'd never be able to talk to Julian. The best in the business. Join, have some fun, make a little flash cash. So without further ado, let's bring him in, the one and only Mr. Julian Edlow.
Morning, Jeff.
Morning, Jules. How are you?
Hanging in there, ready for some playoff basketball.
Yes, let's start there. I said backstage, the more games that you play, the more games the Celtics are getting rested, the more injuries that occur. 2 nights ago, probably having one of his best games of his career, Zion Williams of the Pelicans, down 18 at half, come storming back to tie the game. 3 minutes to go. Timeout, Pelicans. He's sitting down and he's in the locker room. Thanks for playing. Yesterday, playoff Jimmy Butler, lead at halftime by 11 in Philly. Philly comes storming back. Jimmy out. Report today doesn't look good. What'd you see the first 2 nights, Jules?
I mean, the games were, for the most part, pretty entertaining. I guess we got 2 blowouts in the 9-10 games. So I should say the 7-8 games were pretty entertaining. The only side I took was actually the Warriors blowout loser. Had I bet the side that I leaned to in the other 3 games, I would have won. So a little frustrating. A trend, first half unders in these play-in games since they've been established. Now 22-4. Did play the Bulls one last night that went way over, like almost 30 points over in the first half. That's more of a Hawks and Trae Young issue. But solid games, and the injuries play a huge role. The Bulls are also going to have to likely play without Caruso, their best perimeter defender, in Miami on Friday night. So I'm looking forward to the two games. Ingram being hurt as well as Zion, I think this is going to be really hard for the Pelicans. CJ McCollum in the bench, essentially. So I took the Kings plus 2.5 at the opener. I'm probably going to take them again for more, around a minus 120 favorite in the game. I really like the Kings. Not necessarily as much of a Sacramento thing, more of a New Orleans fade, given no Zion and what Ingram looks like. And I'm doing the same thing in the other game, really, just going against the crucial injury. It's like a pick'em game. Miami laying 1.5. Bam's really good. Spoelstra's got the coaching advantage. But the Bulls have, a decent amount of scoring. They have a good amount of wing players. I like what Kobe White and DeMar DeRozan are doing. More confident in the Kings, but I'll probably wind up on the Bulls before Friday night.
I'm going to go back 2 nights ago. And again, one game doesn't make a season. One game doesn't make a career, but the writing's been on the wall. It was one hell of a run by the Warriors. And I'm bringing up Klay Thompson, where I'm not going to throw the gentleman's name out because it happens in this business. It happens in our lanes. You do a full page write up on how he kills this team. Take this, take this, take this, take this. And he didn't even score that game. You could see the frustration. The end of the run from the Warriors, most likely there's going to be some big, big moves. Outside looking in, and again, I know nothing. What can this team do? Or what do you think they'll do in the offseason, Jules?
Probably look to keep getting younger and developing talent, and they've done a good job of that, really. Kuminga, I think, has like all-star level potential. Especially if that, Draymond seems to be, giving him the confidence. If they get him the ball, he's got that type of potential. He dominated a couple stretches of that Sacramento game. Pujensky, Trace Jackson Davis, like they're getting good, solid role players out of the draft. Keep going that route. Moses Moody, they have a good young core. It might not have a superstar. It could have an all-star in Kuminga. But if that core can develop quickly enough around Curry and Green, who aren't going to go anywhere, they can be back in the mix in the West and a little bit better than they were this year. So I don't think they're going to win another one in this window. I don't think they're going to be considered contenders. I would assume Klay Thompson is gone, but otherwise they have good young talent. It's not elite, but they'll add another young piece. And keep building. I don't think it's going to be too much more complex than that.
For action junkies, for someone that likes to play every day, like I said, the playoffs start this weekend in the NBA. I'm high above courtside, as you can see here. Celtics, just prohibitive favorites. We talked backstage. I said I thought the minus 190 was too short. You said now might be around 220. If you like the Celtics to win the Eastern Conference Championship, if you like them, obviously, to potentially win the championship, that's fine as well. But my point is, don't you have to just bite the bullet, take them minus the 190 to 220? Even if they get to the finals, they're going to be prohibitive favorites against anyone, and there'll be a hedge opportunity if you had to there.
Yeah, you can do it that way, to get that plus price tag on your bet and see who makes the finals. Maybe you want to keep it. Maybe you want to hedge it. But they're going to be a big favorite in the finals, even if it's Denver, who I think is by far the worst matchup for them out of anyone in the NBA. Really, the only team that I think should beat them or could beat them if the Celtics are playing anywhere close to their ceiling is Denver. They got a nice wide open lane here in the East. It's going to be either Miami without Butler for a bulk of the series, or Chicago without Caruso for a bulk of the series. That should be a sweep. But if they do it in 5, they do it in 5. I would say you're going to be laying heavy juice on Celtics minus 2.5 games in that series when that price comes out, regardless of opponent. And then it's going to be the Cavs Magic winner. And I know the Magic have given the Celtics some problems at times, but on this stage with that young of a team, tough to imagine that being all that difficult of a series. And then you would think you're looking at, I like the Knicks over the Sixers, but Knicks, Sixers, Bucks, Pacers, Eastern Conference Final, there's a clear path for them there. There's been a clear path for them there, but it just keeps opening wider and wider. It would be a massive disappointment. As a fan, you want them to win it all. It's going to be a disappointment if they don't win it all. But being realistic, it's a massive upset disappointment if this team doesn't go to the finals, and then we'll see what it looks like when they get there, because they should.
Yeah, and that C word, they'll be flying that C word around, especially locally. OMG, how this team, 64 wins, huge favorites, not just to win the East, obviously to win this championship. We're waiting for it desperately here. Banner number 18. You and I will be talking throughout the playoffs, obviously every Thursday at this time. A week from today, you and I will be sitting here, and it will be draft day. And as we spoke backstage, you usually have about 50 plays in tow. Not that way. The books are getting sharper. They're not putting out as much information. I know locally right now it sounds like now the talk of the town is Drake May at 3. They're not going to trade down. They're just going to – Drake's their guy. The J.J. McCarthy is smoke. Thoughts on the Patriots? Thoughts on the 3 pick? We still got a week to go, brother.
I have no idea. I say the same thing. If they've identified one of those quarterbacks as a franchise quarterback and they're there at 3, take them. I would be prepared to sit them, because you can't play that guy until you have an offensive line and pass catchers that can help that player succeed. If you don't identify a franchise quarterback that's on the board when you're picking, move back and get more bang for your buck. So I keep it simple in my mind. Don't try and make a guy that you don't see as a franchise quarterback the franchise quarterback because you're trying to force it and you think that's what the fan base needs or whatever. So yeah, franchise quarterback there at 3, go ahead. If not, no reason to use that 3rd pick.
And we talked about it last week. We'll be talking about it all year. Their under-over is only 4.5. And yes, teams with under-overs of 4.5, Seattle 2 years ago, and I think it was the Rams last year with like a 4.5, 5.5, exceed those limits. I don't think the Patriots will be one of them. They're probably going to be back in this mix anyway. So if you trade the pick and you just fill some holes and you have all these assets, if you're sitting in the same spot, or maybe you're sitting at 6, 7, 8, you'll at least have the assets to potentially move up if that franchise quarterback is there next year, Jules.
Yeah, this is not going to be I know everybody high in the draft is hopeful you get your guy and you're not there again, but the Patriots are going to be there again pretty soon, probably next year. So yeah, you got to know that you're going to have, I don't want to say multiple cracks, because you don't want to be taking multiple franchise quarterbacks and seeing who pans out, but you're going to be in this position to fill voids a couple more times before you start to improve, most likely, with a rookie head coach and no offensive line. Like, this is going to take time. So identify what you need, take that in this draft, and you're probably going to be able to address some other needs very high in the next draft.
We talked, how's the prop market on DK with a week to go? Is there anything that's jumping out there that just, it'd be worse than pizza and beer? Or is it going to be a sit and wait for you for another week?
I bet one thing, and it's moved. It's come back some, and it's gone back and forth, but it's Bo Nix over 32.5. So Bo Nix not to go in the first round. Nobody has got a first round grade on him, according to all the guys that talk to the front office guys. And I trust that. And I personally don't think very highly of Bo Nix. There's a reason he wasn't as good at Auburn in the SEC, and then he goes to Oregon and throws these short passes against Pac-12 defenses, and his receivers rip off these gains. I don't see it with Bo Nix, probably a backup quarterback. It came out minus 120. It got as high as minus 200. It came back as low as minus 130. It's minus 200 right now. I think it's a winner, so you can bet it if you want, but maybe you can leave it and it comes back a little at some point over the next week and you get a better price.
Got a few minutes before we have to wrap it up and you have to move on to your next show. The weekends here, the hockey playoffs start, the obviously the NBA playoffs start. In your eyes, for the weekend, any series plays, any advice to the novice, someone that wants to get in? You and I talk all the time. I call it the Julian Edlow special. So why don't you give some key pointers and facts and some ideas to the listeners out there?
Plenty of them. And yeah, I love if you got a series at a number that is a little unbettable, lay some games if you like that team. Very correlated, win game one, win the series, or as the series progresses, the favorite loses game one. You want to bet them to win game two and the series. Those are all available on DK Sportsbook. So one that I thought was a good price. I'm not necessarily in love with this team, but I think it's a very blah matchup that could go either way. We have a really good price on the Magic to win game one and win the series. It's plus 390. So you're getting almost 4-1. So I think I put it out at like 0.3 units. Just take a little bit, throw it on Orlando game one in the series. See if they come out and win the game. If we lose, less than a third of a unit, not the end of the world. But if the Magic do come out and win game one on the road, they're going to be favored in the series. People are going to be talking about how they have home court now. So I think at almost 4-1, that's worth a crack. In terms of laying games, I did do Denver minus 165 to win game one in the series over the Lakers, a little bit of juice. Minus 130, I laid the game and a half with Denver. I think it's 140 now on DK, which is by far the best price in the market. We're low on Denver. I don't know why at DraftKings. So go ahead and take advantage of that. Nuggets have beaten the Lakers 8 in a row. It wasn't just the sweep last year. It's 8 in a row now by over 8 points per game. Did play Knicks series, like I said. And also we opened them plus 190 for game one in series. I think it's down to 170. That's still by far the best price in the market. Very correlated. Game one home favorites. If you like them in game one, take them plus 170 to they'll be minus 200 if they win game one to win the series. And finally, I am going Mavericks. And I bet him every which way. I don't think Kawhi's knee is healthy. I like the way that Dallas is playing a lot. So Dallas series, I laid the game and a half with Dallas at plus 140 to get it done in 6 or less. They'll have that opportunity on their home floor, game 6, hopefully. And then game one in series was plus 190 at the time. I think it's plus 175 now. Favored on the road in game one, trending the wrong way for Kawhi. Win that game one, they'll probably be laying over $2 in the series, and you got a very nice ticket in pocket.
That was my claim to fame as they were getting hot. I think they end the season 16-2 outright and 15-3 against the spread, and we grabbed them at 13-1 to win the West. They actually
started available for a while, pretty recently.
Yeah.
Still available.
Yeah, and they started out plus 120 against the Clippers. Then the news on Kawhi and the knee, yada, yada, yada. And so I don't like the matchup. I expect them to win. I don't like the fact that it seems like on social media, especially Twitter, the whole world's on Dallas. And so we'll have to muscle that one through. I'll tell
you this real quick. I don't think anybody else has these up yet, but you can bet who the conference finalists are. So, for example, I like Celtics versus Knicks in the East. That's plus 310. I think Dallas gets through the Clippers. I think they get through OKC. And I like Denver. So, Denver is plus 450. it doesn't matter who wins. You can just bet on what the matchups are going to be in the conference finals. So I think those are pretty interesting markets. And I guess you can parlay it. So for the Final Four to be Celtics, Knicks, Nuggets, Mavericks, you're getting plus 21.55. So a little over 21 to 1. There's your pizza bet. Yes, for pizza bet. There it is.
OMG, you guys had hands down the best book in the world. There are so many opportunities, and we always say this here. Anyone new to the station, if there's a market that they're not doing, or if there's something that you're interested that you don't see on the sports book market, head on over to Twitter at Julian Edlow. Just send him a nice little friendly DM or go onto his timeline. Say, hey, Jules, I was watching the show. I was wondering if. And he will take it to his people, and if they can do it, they'll do it. Right, Jules?
If they can do it, they'll do it. That's not my decision, though. Don't hold it against me.
Scroll has been going the whole time, Jules. They can go find you, obviously, at Julian Edlow. They can find your work at DraftKings at DK SportsBook, Saturday and Sunday at TheSweat DK, VSINLive DK Network. But as always, as we close here, tell them, why to download the app. Maybe you got a sneaky booster promo this weekend or tonight. And B, where they can find all your work and your live shows.
Yep, you covered it, Jeff. Weekends 8 to 10 on VSIN and DraftKings Network. I will tweet out the show every Saturday and Sunday morning as we get going. Let's see. I'm in Massachusetts right now, so I see Guardians Red Sox 50% same game parlay boost if you happen to be local. MLB early win. We ran the early win a lot in NFL. If you go up by 10, the team you bet on the money line, you cash the bet. You win your money line bet in MLB right now if your team leads by 2 runs at any point in the game, whether they win, lose, draw, whatever. So the early win promos are always good. Golf, RBC Heritage, 50% profit boost, opt in for that. And we're doing NBA playoff brackets, kind of like March Madness brackets. If you are interested in one of those pools. So a lot of different stuff going on.
Jules, can't thank you enough as always. Stay dry. It's raining here on Cape Cod. Enjoy your weekend. Are you going to be at the Celtics Sunday?
Yeah, I'm going to be at all might be aggressive, but all or close to all of the postseason games.
All right. Well, enjoy the game this weekend, and we'll catch up with you in 1 week on draft day.
All right. Sounds good. Take care, Jeff.
Take care, Jules. The one and only Julian Edlow at Julian Edlow, of course, but you can find all his work at DraftKings, DK SportsBook. Check him out this weekend, 8 to 10 a.m. locally on VSINLive at TheSweat, Samsung TV, as he likes to say. Great guy, good friend, great colleague. So 3 o'clock today, myself and Andrew McGinnis at McGinnis Picks at Wager Talk last night. The last full night, of the NHL playoffs start this weekend. ECSI VIPs, you're positioned great. I think East, these are all pre-flop, one mid-season in the East. Carolina and the Rangers, both to win the East, both to win the Cup. And in the West, pre-flop, we had the Avs, 10 to 1 to win the Cup, 5 to 1 to win the West. And we grabbed some mid-season, some great prices on the Dallas Stars. And I was looking at the brackets, and here's the good news. If Carolina and the Rangers both win their first round, the same as Dallas and the Avs, if they both win their first round, we're guaranteed to have one team in the finals on both sides. Because unfortunately, Rangers, Carolina will meet up in the second round, and Avs and Dallas will meet up in the second round. So that's that. They will be talking to Andrew at 3 o'clock. And at 5 o'clock, I have scheduled the closing bell with Riley Magnuson. Now, short slate, but maybe we could talk, if we do go live, a run for the Bulls is the big win for them. Small slate and bases last night in hockey. We could talk some previews on some potential playoff matches and stuff like that. So I'll keep you updated on our timeline on the closing bell, but definitely 3 o'clock with Andrew McGinnis. So I can't thank you guys enough. Have a great, great morning. We'll see you back here live at 3 o'clock and potentially at 5 o'clock. For myself, Jeff Dawson at DC Sports Invest, the one and only Julian Edlow at DraftKings. We wish everyone a great, great morning. See you back at 3 o'clock.